the Monroe Law that made sure any foreigner coming from another land into America would have to come through the Monroe Law, where they could check to find out why you're here, what you're looking to do. And then make sure they tell you, all right, you can do this and you can do that, but don't go down into these different areas where the black people are at. Don't get involved with this and don't get involved with that. So they was always on the watch of black people from the East coming to get us out of this condition. But the God in his wisdom, knowing all this 25,000 years in advance, he said, I'm going to produce a son. I'm going to produce him in sinful flesh to condemn the sin in the flesh. It's in your Bible that God would go ahead and produce a child. And in that child, he would color his seed, but in the child would be him. Master Farad Muhammad don't look like no black man. Master Farad Muhammad has the complexion of the people that put us in this condition. But his father's a black man. His mother's from the Caucasus Mountain. She's a white woman. But she ain't no ordinary white woman. And let me just pause and say this. For those that may think that Master Farad Muhammad's mother is a devil, you out of your doggone mind.
Clean it up. Go ahead.
It takes two gods to make a god. This ain't just no any ordinary woman. This is a woman that 7 devils was cast out of. And before the devils was cast out of her, she was already in the Caucasus Mountains coming from families that was practicing Islam. She comes from that lineage of families that it reads in the Bible where it says the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair and took them in as wives. We rounded up all the devils that we could find in Arabia. And we casted them out. But we ain't find them all. Because some of the original people took some of the women in as wives. And there ain't no Muslim going to take a woman in as a wife that's not going to submit to Islam. Hell no. That ain't working. It ain't worked 6,000 years ago, and it ain't going to work today. See? Y'all all right? So Master Farad Muhammad's mother comes from that lineage. In her nature may be devil, but those devils was casted out. She submitted to Islam, and when her husband chose her as a wife, she had to go through another process of the teachings of the 24th scientists. Because she had to get the gestation of what it needed to be able to produce a child that would be the Christ, a child that would be the Mahdi, and the husband is God.
Teach, Muhammad. Take your time. Take your teaching, Muhammad.
So the woman had to be prepared in a way that when she married this man, she could tune into the thinking of her husband, who was a supreme being. Before any gestation of a child, y'all better check yourself on Master Farad Muhammad's mother. How could a man give us this kind of wisdom? And his mother be casted out as some doggone devil. That shows that you got half-baked knowledge. I'm sorry, man, but y'all all right? I love this. I love this wisdom. I know what we got is right and exact. I know the enemy is mad. But we're glad because he's missing souls that he thought he had. I mean, my time is almost up and I ain't nowhere near finished, but I knew this was going to happen. You know, I mean, it's all right. Man, I love the spirit here. And I just want to be one that can testify in the name of Allah. So I came here today to testify and bear witness of a man that I know. A man that met a man, was taught by a man, who met another man and was taught by that man, who is God himself.
Think about it.
It's really, you know, I mean, they've twisted the Bible up so much, brothers and sisters, that the enemy's trick is to make us think what we read happened yesterday, so that you won't expect it to happen right now. The book of John talks about there was a man that was sent from God. You see? And that he was looking for a witness. To bear witness to God, not that he was God, but that if he bear witness to God and him, that others may believe through him that God has appeared. What's the congruency of that in our lives? If that happened 2,000 years ago, why are we catching hell in Baltimore? If that happened 2,000 years ago, what's the need? And Brother Carlos being in the juvenile detention center working with our youth, there should be no more prisons. I'm in the state prisons dealing with brothers that got football scores of time. All the time. Why are we up in there? Why would there be a need? Freedom, justice, and equality should already be on the planet, because that didn't happen yet.
Teach.
The Word was God, and then the Word became flesh. What Word? What beginning? Whose beginning? Because as you read from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and hear the lectures of the time and what must be done, the beginning of this world started 6,000 years ago. And that Adam of that time received a word. And he rebelled against that word. And all those people that he came from, which is the Adamic race, which you know as being white people, have built a world that's in rebellion to God. But God comes at the end of their rule. He allows them to rule. Once Adam rebelled, he told them, 6 days will you do all your work. On the 7th day, you're going to rest. Honorable Muhammad said that means you're going to die. The system that you use to produce your government, your education, every part of the system that makes up your government is going to die. And you see the education failing. You see the job market failing. You see the money failing. You see everything failing. Why? If this is happening simultaneously, brothers and sisters, it's not by coincidence. You have to understand the law of cause and effect. We're in the time where God is coming and has established himself to start producing the judgment and the resurrection. 6,000 years. Count it back. We're 2,000 years away from Jesus' death and crucifixion. Is that right? That's right. Moses was 2,000 years before him, and Abraham was 2,000 years before him. That's 6,000 years. Right. So we should expect something at this time. Can I get a few more minutes? What should we expect? We should expect God's coming. That's right. Well, how should we expect him to come, since we've been taught about a mystery God and a mystery devil? Paul says in the scriptures, how can they know except they have a teacher? And how can they have a teacher except he's been sent? Do you think it's going to come through BET? MSNBC? Do you think it's going to be announced on CNN? Do you think that it's going to be in the newspapers that God has come and he has sent you a teacher? No, because the scribes, those who write, the Pharisees, those who govern, the Sadducees, those who govern and those who deal with the religious theology was all against, always have been against any prophet or messenger of God that stood up. So don't expect it to be him to be accepted by the church, the mosque, the synagogue. No, he's going to be accepted by the people who are suffering in the streets. God has always raised his messengers up from the people who are oppressed. God comes to them through a vision and through a dream and raises them up with revelation. But in this day and time, after the 6,000 years is done, God comes himself. So in the book of Genesis, in the 15th chapter, God says he puts Abraham into a deep sleep to show him the darkness and horror of what his future seed is going to go through. That's right. And he tells him, know of a surety, Abraham, that thy seed will be a stranger in a strange land among a strange people, despised and rejected for 400 years. That's right. And they will serve those people. And after 400 years, I'm going to come and I'm going to judge those people, and I'm going to bring your descendants out of that land into another land, a land of their own with great possessions. Well, that's giving us a time clock to go by. 400 years of suffering. There's no other people in the past 6,000 years, brothers and sisters, that have been through 400 years of bondage in a strange land among a strange people. America's a strange land. It was a strange land to us before we got here. Is that right? When we was brought here. Is that right? White people are strange people. We can all admit to that. Is that right? And we have been serving them for over 458 years now. And because the enemy of God knows that God would come, because he has his own theologians that keep him abreast of what these scriptures mean to the best of their knowledge, then he makes sure that he changes the history. He tells you that the first slaves was brought over here in 1619 when it was really 1555. Right. So that way you will never be able, if you happen to get a chance to add it up, you won't be able to associate yourself with those people that God is going to choose to be his people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that the first slaves were brought over here in 1555. It's in the Congressional Library of Congress. They have it written down, meaning white people, in their books. And so we've been in bondage for 400 years, from 1555 to 1955. In between that last 2 decades, or quarter of a century of that 400-year process, God comes like a thief in the night, looking for you and I, and a way to save us without falling a victim of one of us to the devil's civilization. What is civilization? Civilization is one having knowledge, wisdom, culture, and refinement, the pursuit of happiness. What's your culture?
Listen.
Is it yours or is it the white man's? Easter getting ready to come up. Is that your culture?
Listen.
Valentine's Day just passed. Is that your culture?
Come on now.
See? Christmas was last year. Is that your culture? New Year's. Is that your culture? See? When we start dealing with these different holidays that has been given to us through slavery by our enemy, that's not your culture, brothers and sisters. You may be celebrating it, but you celebrating their culture based off of their knowledge, their wisdom, their understanding. Where's your knowledge? Where's your wisdom? Where's your understanding? That's why God comes to give us civilization, and civilization comes through the knowledge, and we develop our own culture.
Yeah. Right.
Y'all all right? See, we got to understand that we've been robbed of something.
Yeah.
We never had a proper intercourse with God, no relationship with God. We know him in our own nature to a certain degree, but we've never been able to relate because no one has never introduced us to the Father of our creation. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
So in understanding that and going along with that, Abraham has shown that, well, we believe in the Nation of Islam. We are those people. Black people in America and throughout the Western Hemisphere are those people that was taken from what is called Africa into a strange land. All throughout the Caribbean, dropped off and brought into America, all in South America and all that. But the worst case of black people have been dropped off right here in America. So God starts here first, making himself known. This is the promise of God. And as he has said in the scripture, telling Moses in the book of Exodus, he said to Moses, when he first had Moses come up to the mountain, I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. So I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up from that land to a good and large land, to a land flowing with milk and honey. You heard the brother talking about economic development? You heard him talking about us acquiring land? We ain't leaving America. No, this belongs to us more than it does to anybody else other than the Indians. Because we've been here long as them, they've been here longer. Is that right? So brothers and sisters, our sweat, blood, and tears has been on this soil. But God is going to take it from one and give it to another. But he ain't going to give it to us in our condition. He ain't going to give it to us if we talking about still filling ourselves up with weed. Still going ahead and popping Molly. Still going ahead and putting all kind of pills and drinks in our system. Disrespecting ourselves, disrespecting our mother, disrespecting our community, and then expecting God to love us? Hell no, that ain't going to happen like that. So he raises up one that can teach us. Farrakhan has been sent to us. Farrakhan, all praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Farrakhan has been sent to us. He is a reminder to us to make the great commission of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad known. For God says in the scripture, that day shall not come unless there be a falling away first and the man of sin be revealed. The man of sin, not no spirit of sin. The devil is a man. Elijah Muhammad stood up and told us he met God face to face. And God taught him for 3.5 years as a man would teach his friend, and taught him to come and teach us. And he pointed out to us the devil. He told us that the white man is, in fact, the devil. Now, you may not like that, but there ain't no white people in the room. You ain't got to get scared. I said it. Is that right? No, I mean, you know, you may be nervous. But that characteristic of devil has been reproduced in us. White man ain't in our hood selling us drugs, robbing us, stealing from us, and doing all manner of things. It's us doing it to each other. So the minister said to us at Savior's Day, the Nation of Islam's job is reform. We have to reform our people. We have to bring them this knowledge and bring it to them with the conviction of our own belief in this knowledge, that we may make them understand that they can get inspired and motivated to make a change for the better in their own lives. Otherwise, God is going to chastise us. If the civilized person does not perform his duty, what must be done? All of us who have got our X and got our Muhammads, we came through a supreme wisdom class. We know the duty of a civilized person. And if we're not doing our duty, God starts whipping on us in our lives. That's right. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is at the point right now where he's calling on God to start whipping on us. So believers, as we go through our trials, we got to hold fast to Surah 113 and 114. But more so than that, we got to get busy with this work. Is that right? Look, we got to get busy with this work. All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. And brothers and sisters, this is on you too, because you've heard from so many different leaders and you've read about so many different leaders, and some of you will claim Marcus Garvey, some of you will claim Noble Drew Ali, some of you will claim Malcolm, some of you will claim different leaders and teachers who are gone now, but you ain't following their principles. You don't think time is up for that? You think you can just talk the talk and don't walk the walk? God is done with that. Whether we're ready for the establishment of the kingdom or not, he will remove everybody up in here and bring a whole new crew up in here. Do you understand what I'm saying? This kind of stuff scares me, brothers and sisters. Why? Because as you got Brother Carlos here giving you the archives, look, 40, 50 years ago, there was different faces sitting in Mosque number 6.
Think of that.
They're gone now. You're here. So God will remove us and bring a whole nother people in. You see, we have had enough teaching to justify the existence of God and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, as I close, is not dead. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is not dead. I mean, look, I don't know what you believe, but I know for a fact in my spirit, in my soul, that man cannot possibly be dead. Because how do you justify and explain Farrakhan? He didn't meet Master Farad Muhammad. He wasn't taught by him for 3.5 years. It's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Allah that has raised the minister up in the way that he is right now. For that man, Elijah Muhammad, to go away under a death plot in 1975 and had told some of the believers, I'm going away to study, but I will return. Told brother minister, you don't change the teachings while I'm gone. And if you're faithful to me when I come back, I'll reveal the new teaching through you. Now, the vision experience of Minister Farrakhan. September 17th, 1985, 10 years after the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is gone. How could a man like that hasn't been lying to us and has been working up until that time all around the nation with Stop the Killing tours and everything, making people stand up and take their shahada in every venue that he went to? Tell us he had a vision-like experience where he was taken up on a wheel, this mechanical object that is said to be 40 miles up above the Earth's atmosphere. 200,000 feet or more up.
Yeah.
And said he was taken up on that, and in that experience, he heard the voice of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was given instructions. Now, to me, I don't think the brother's a liar. I know he's not a liar. But what it also reveals to me is that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is alive with power to be able to summon a man up in his spirit through his dream while he's asleep, and take him somewhere to tell him something and experience something, and then send him back. And he don't realize he done been through what he went through until a calamity comes and makes him realize he been through something. All of you call it deja vu, but that's Allah on you. Our brother experienced that. And from 1985 until now, he's been teaching us based off of what he experienced on that wheel. And look at us as a nation. Yeah. Many of us that are in here now wasn't here in 1985.
Come on now. That's right. Come on.
Brothers and sisters, we got backup. That's right. I know the devil got Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, CIA, FBI, ATF and everything, and they're developing weapons even as we speak. But that power on that mechanical object called the wheel, which is known as the mother plane. Listen. You see many planes, but there got to be a mother to them all. And if you refuse to believe that there's a mother plane, but you believe that the white man's the only one that can make a plane, when we're the mothers and fathers of civilization, we gave them mathematics, we gave them science, and we don't have no object that we can make, then I'll say you worship the white man. You see him as God. You talk black, you talk liberation, you talk freedom, justice, and equality. But if you don't think that there are black people with wisdom higher than ours and high above the wisdom of this world that could produce an object, look, we've been shown the occupant who flies the mother plane. We've been shown the co-pilot.
That's right. Come on.
I'm not lying. Ask Brother Carl show you a picture of Master Farad Muhammad. That's the commander of the mother plane. Ask him to show you a picture of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's the co-pilot of the mother plane. Are y'all kidding me? An object that can be so high up in the sky and can see from 300,000 feet down and read every address, and got an infrared lens that can go 5 miles down into the earth.
Come on. Right.
Can move at a rate of speed of 9,000 to 25,000 miles an hour. That's moving off of electromagnetic energy that it gets from the oxygen in the atmosphere and changes it along with the crystals into electromagnetic energy that allows the plane to breathe.
Come on. Come on, brother. Listen.
This thing pulsates, man. There's no seams in it.
That's right.
It's produced by God of the finest steel. The only steel that comes close to it is the samurai sword. We dealing with master of technology and wisdom and science. And then it has 1,500 smaller planes that are bombing planes that can cover every city in America. You ain't got nothing to worry about, believer, except that you submit your will to do the will of God. You ain't got to carry no gun. You ain't got to carry no knife. You got God and his Christ backing you up. And what's the proof of that?
Come on, man. Teach. Go ahead now. Teach us.
Farrakhan is the proof of that. I mean, look, man. I'm done. But I want to say, man, look. How strong is our foundation? Can we survive what's about to come upon us? Can we survive all of the temptation that's out there? Because the fire of temptation is a thing that we got to walk through, but we've had a living example in front of us all along. Farrakhan has stood on the foundation of the belief that God has appeared in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, on the belief that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is not dead, on the belief that he's on the wheel. And you and I know, just go on YouTube or Google Farrakhan. This enemy has been attacking him outright for at least 28 years. On every level of media, politics, you cannot become president unless you take the Farrakhan litmus test. You can't become a governor until you take the Farrakhan litmus test. If you're a black man, you cannot become mayor if you're a black man unless you take the Farrakhan litmus test. They make sure that we don't make no money based off in the housing facilities where we can help our people. They want to make sure no contract comes to us. In other words, it's like the children of Egypt. Pharaoh telling them, let me see you make bricks without straw and not come up one brick short. And look at us, man. Nation of Islam. Based on the love that's in your heart, in my heart, we've been able to be independent of this devil. Bring whatever you want to bring on our man. They've poisoned him. They tried to kill him. They took him in the hospital and put radiated seeds in him. They tried to guide his plane into a mountain. They've tried everything they could. They've brought up agent provocateurs. They've tortured people just to try to get Farrakhan. And it has not shaken him off this foundation that Allah God appeared to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. I'm telling you, if you stand on that foundation, if you get a knowledge of God and a knowledge of the devil and a knowledge of the time and what must be done, you can't go nowhere else and get this knowledge. You got to come into the mosque. You got to come up under this teaching. You got to go through what we go through here. I know you may say, well, I don't want to go, I don't want to have to deal with this and deal with that. Brothers and sisters, if you thinking that you need time to get yourself together before you come into the mosque, show me where that school is at, because I missed that school. Where is the school that you get yourself together before you get with God?
Go ahead.
This is the school. This is our gym to work out in. This is our bathhouse. This is where we clean ourselves up. And the friction that we have with one another based off of personality quirks, if it's in the name of Allah, that friction causes a polarity that allows us to walk out of there and become magnets in the community, where you have that magnetic attraction. Because if my brother get on my nerve, I know he's a believer. That's my brother. I'm not going to take it personal. We could work this out. If my sister get on my nerve, I know that's my sister, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. She's here with me every Sunday, every Saturday, every Wednesday, every Friday. She pays her charity. She's trying to live a righteous life. I may have something about her I don't like. I better check myself. In the name of Allah, through the study of self-improvement and supreme wisdom, and with prayer and fasting, with that, watch you start shining like the diamond and becoming the magnet that you are, that you start attracting people to us. We can't hold this to ourselves. We ain't no Masons up in here. Our tassel swings 360.
That's right. Go ahead.
It ain't tied down. The God came to untie us. We're the ones that's on the cross. Our hands are bound, our feet are bound, and there's a crown of thorns on our head. And Elijah has come to take us off the cross. Who is Elijah? Farrakhan is Elijah in our midst. Let's stand up and take him on as our family and as our leader. Thank you for giving me your time and your patience as I greet you all in peace. Assalamu alaikum. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. All praises are due to Allah. Y'all all right? Brothers and sisters, I'm overwhelmed myself, because from the time I first came in the mosque until right now, I'm still fascinated by this truth like it was when I first got my ex. Come on. And I thank Allah for that. Because sometimes we can be up in this, and because if we're not studying and acting on our study, you start losing interest in what you got, and it's just you just a dressed up Muslim. Nah, that ain't like that here. No. You know, that's not what you got in Brother Carlos, and that's not what I feel in the spirit of the believers and the laborers and the staff that's here. So if you feeling like that, you better check yourself and get on this wisdom and start acting on it. Nobody said it was going to be easy. But I mean, I'm thankful to Allah that you gave me your time and your patience to be here. I thank Brother Carlos. I mean, this is my brother with a beautiful spirit. All praise be to Allah. But I know that, you know, even while we're here and we're getting inspired by the word, how many of you are glad that you came out today? By a show of hands. Praise be to Allah. How many of you believe what you heard to be the truth and good for us as a people? Can I see by a show of hands? All praise is due to Allah. See, because this is very important. While I was speaking to you and what Allah was inspiring me to say, you was having a conversation in your own mind, in your own heart, identifying with certain points that I was making that identifies with things that you're going through in your life. I don't know nothing about that. But somewhere along this line, you have to make a decision on what you want to do to stop going on the wheel like a hamster, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If we've been exhausted in ideas on how to get out of our situation, God has come with the wisdom that you're hearing coming from this rostrum. And all we got to do is delve into it. So if you're here for your first time, you believe what you heard to be the truth and good for us as a people, I want to know how many of you are ready to get yourself in liberation and set yourself and join hands with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to help establish freedom, justice, and equality in our own personal life, as well as in our family, and then work on our community block by block, precinct by precinct, with the help and backing of the mosque, that we may make a different decision and change in our lives. Are there any of you here right now that want to make that kind of stand? Please stand up if you do. Stand up if you're ready to make it. Yes, sir, please.
Where's all of our first-time visitors that came out, was invited to the mosque today? You've never been here. Stand up if you out at the mosque for the very first time. Let us see you. Let us see you. If you got invited here today for the first time, stand up. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. Brothers and sisters, please remain standing, because you've already made it known that you enjoyed and got something from what Brother Minister said today. But on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and all of his followers in Baltimore, we want to thank you, and we want the opportunity to come down and personally shake your hand to respect the fact that you came and gave us your ear, your heart, and your time. So all of those that came out for the first time today, come on out into the aisle, brothers, sisters, come on out into the aisle so Brother Student Minister can have a chance to come down. Go ahead, Brother Minister, go on down to the front. All praises due to. Come on, you can keep it together, brothers and sisters. And Brother Secretary, if I could get the list of those that brought a guest and a visitor out today, bring that down to me so that I can let the people know who came as a result of the believers' work. Come on, look at the beautiful sisters coming down. Here we go. We want to give Brother Dwayne X a round of applause, Brother Ali Mayo, Brother Antonio, Brother Student Captain Andrew, Brother Kennard, Brother Jock, Brother Vernon 3, Brother Dorsey Muhammad, Brother Ghani Muhammad. Let's give him a round of applause. Brother Dontel, Brother John Adex. Is this another Vernon? Yeah, Brother Vernon X. Let's give him a round of applause. Sister Stephanie, Sister Cynthia with a C, Sister Spring, and Sister Captain Leslie. And your student minister got some guests out there today too. All praise is due to Allah. Let's give all of our family that fished and brought a guest in. Look at the black man. Look at the soldiers. All praise is due to Allah. Look at the soldiers. Hey, Brother Green, Brother Henry. Tell that young Brother Henry, Brother Minister, that young man hand you shaking? Look at that black man. That's one of my soldiers from down BCJJC. What's up, soldier? Look at the black man lined up. Beautiful day at Mosque number 6 today. Look at the young soldiers. This is what the minister is talking about. That's one of them big soldiers right there. Come on now. Look at the young soldiers. Come on, all praise is due to Allah. Come on now. Come on now. Beautiful, beautiful. Come on now. Come on now, that's right. Yes, sir. Come on, brothers and sisters, let's give it up. All praise is due to Allah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Brothers and sisters, once again, thank you so much. We're going to be dismissed in just a few moments. And Brother Minister, go ahead, take your time. You all right. As we close out, Brother Mike, Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Man, stand up always, brother. This ain't your first time here, man. This is Brother Michael. Yeah, that's one of my childhood homeboys, man. We come up together, and we've had some experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, but we're older now, and you've come through your circumstances mightily, and Allah has blessed you to move on with your life after the enemy tried to put you on ice and put you on hold. So you didn't make 40 yet, did you? When you turned 40? In June. See, June 28th. So you 1 month after me, but a year behind me. But no, we all getting into that 40 club now. You know what I'm saying? God willing, and may I'll be 41. But we come up together small. And it's always a pleasure to see you, my brother. How's your mom doing and your pops? Everybody good? Give them my love and my greetings and all of the family. And I'll see you after we close out in prayer, okay? Brothers and sisters, y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Good day at the mosque, right?
Yes, sir.
Sanctuary Sunday. So I want to thank once again Brother Minister and all of the brothers that traveled down from Brooklyn with you, and know that we got kindred spirits.
Yes, sir.
And even though 6 came before 7, it doesn't make it any more significant. But I like what he said on the radio last week. He said, you take 6 and 7, you get 13. That's the thunder in the Quran.
Yes, sir.
And he brought the thunder today. 7 coming down to be with 6, and 6 coming to be with 7. All praise is due to Allah. So this is your home, family, and anytime that any of you would love to come back, please come back. Come back next Sunday.
Yeah.
And bring somebody else with you.
That's right.
Because this is the work that we are about, trying to transform the lives of our people for the better. I just have a few more announcements. I'm going to turn you back into the hands of our assistant minister, and we want you to help us out today with our material support. But I think that I should tell you some good news. How many of you like to hear good news?
Yes, sir.
Come on, raise your hand.
That's right.
Because we always getting some bad news.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters, the good news is that if it be the will of Allah, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan will be making his way back to Baltimore.
Come on now.
All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. We're trying to finalize everything for him to speak at Morgan State University on Saturday, April the 12th. And so there's some things that still have to be worked out, so we will definitely keep you updated on the possibility of the minister coming back in the area. He has already agreed to come, but the school has to work out some things on its end. And so you get ready to receive our minister when he comes, and there's no way he could come to Baltimore and I not at least invite him to his own mosque. So you mark those 2 dates, the 12th and the 13th, April, to come on out to Morgan and also come on out to the mosque that Sunday. Allah may bless us with a treat in having the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan here, okay?
Yes, sir.
Y'all all right with that?
Yes, sir.
So brothers and sisters, thank you so much. But to the believers,
Come on.
we got more work to do.
That's right. Yes,
And the work don't stop with 1 week,
come on.
no days off.
That's right.
We have to go after our people at a feverish pitch,
Yes, sir.
because that is the time and what must be done. So thank you, brothers and sisters. I'm going to turn you into the hands of our capable assistant minister here at Muhammad Mosque number 6, Brother Elliot Muhammad, who is going to give us some announcements. And also make sure, I talked about that mixtape.
Yes, sir.
I want you to get a copy of our brother's mix CD in the back. And when we say mix CD in the mosque, we're talking about the message like you heard today, but with nice music in the background. Hip-hop tracks, some jazz, all of that. I was listening to it. It is awesome. Also, the messages that we delivered last week in Brooklyn are also available on DVD as well as CD, and many items in the back by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for your listening and reading pleasure, okay? All right, so let us welcome back to the rostrum our beloved brother, Brother Elliot Muhammad. Let's bring him on with a round of applause.
Thank you, brother. Come on, family. I know you can do better than that. Number 6, all the way from Brooklyn, New York, Muhammad Mosque 7C, our beloved brother, student minister Henry Muhammad. Give him a warm round of applause. Number 6. All praises are due to Allah. Oh, what a warm welcome, what a warm message that our brother brought. And we thank Almighty God Allah for the presence of our brother. Of course, we thank Allah for our beloved brother, student minister Carlos, for inviting our brother. And I don't know if you've heard, but the Minister Carlos stated that there will be more, what he called unsung heroes, coming here to Muhammad's Mosque number 6. So we want you to stay tuned for all events, activities. We do not want you to leave because this is another highlighted moment that we're going to have in just a few minutes before we close out with our announcements. We want to move forward very quickly with the collection of charity. And what we would like to do at this time, we have the charity baskets available on the sister side and brother side. Yes, sir. Okay, don't pass the charity, but they can still get your money ready. Get your money ready. What we want to do, and Brother Henry has already made his donation. Let's give him a warm round of applause, putting his money where his mouth is. But what we want to do, we want to try to raise $3,000 today. Can we do that? Yes, sir. Wow. Wait a minute. Yes, sir. Please do. Yes, sir.
Just another announcement. Next Sunday, we will be joined by our international representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, Brother Minister Akbar Muhammad.
Wow.
So I want you to come on out next week. And let's fill up the mosque. And as my brother say, every month we're going to bring you the best the nation has.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Brother
All right.
Minister. All praise
What
is
you
due to
doing
Allah.
back here?
Okay, brothers and sisters, I asked could we raise $3,000. My brother Gary, who was holding the charity basket, he was the only one that was so excited. He said, yes, sir. Everybody else was like, and I'm going to ask the question again.